I understand that offers. So the price is really much. Let's pick your check. Like Earl. You should go tag on that all. You'll have to show them the cheese. Task freeze. You ready to go? Go ahead. Always good. People
In and out.
Is Chris good? You good?
Are you good?
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. So, 7 o'clock, we're gonna call the, zoning board of appeals meeting, November 14th, 2024. So to just quickly go through the agenda, the first item on the agenda is to review the minutes from our July 25th meeting 2024. Does anyone have any comments or amendments or motion approved minutes?
Second.
Give it to Tom.
Right, all in favor on that?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so on the agenda, the first applicant, and for those that are here, the applicant for the Boulder area variance will ask you to come up, give us an overview of your application, and then we'll have public comment as well. So I have a motion to open the public.
Motion to open the public hearing.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Come on up. And I'll just read it for the group. It's an area variance by Kevin and Megan Bolger, okay. 5 Governor Circle, Mendon, New York, consisting of 0.55 acres, requesting a 2-foot of relief to build a porch and attached deck with a side setback of 18 feet 9 inches, whereas code requires a 20-foot setback, and therefore requires an area variance zone B, tax count 21607-2-034.
Hi, I'm Nate from Keystone Custom Desk. I'm here on behalf of Kevin and Megan Bolger. And yeah, you already read kind of what we're needing there. The setback of 20 feet, we're asking for 2 feet of relief just to make sure that our 18.9 measurement is giving us enough, just in case it's not exact with the survey or the use that also creates a little bit extra. And so we were just wanting to give ourselves a little bit extra relief there. And so we asked for 2 feet. And also it's just the far corner. So it'd be the north corner of the porch. Like it's not the whole entire length, kind of because of the way the property is a little bit, it doesn't run perfectly parallel with the house. So yeah, we're asking for 2 feet of relief. Any questions?
Have you talked to the neighbor?
Yeah, we have letters from all the neighbors, and we've talked specifically to the neighbor that's their property line, and they were very supportive of that.
Thank you.
They have the letters, and I think I also sent them to
Yep.
Brooke, and so, you guys want to see them?
Oh, no, I meant it more as like, thank you, like,
Yeah.
typically people don't talk to the
Okay.
neighbors.
No, yeah,
You
no,
know.
we did, we personally talked to them and handed them the letter for them to sign to, but explained everything that we're doing, and they just finished a project behind their house too, so they're like, oh yeah, you've looked at our mud for a couple of months, we're okay with being a little, too close to that line, so they were.
Do we have anyone online that had any comments?
Nope.
Any other members of the board have any questions or comments? Anyone else in the room have any questions or comments?
I would only make a comment that 13 feet is still quite a bit of space. Your average room size inside your house is 12 feet wide, like so. However, extending it out to the edge of the house actually presents a more pleasing aesthetics. It makes for easier lawn movement.
And then I know it was mentioned, so I just want to make sure we state it for the record, there were 5 letters of support. From. Numbers 3, 7, 6, 8, and 9 Governor Circle.
There's only 7 lots of them.
Yeah.
We can get on that.
All right, do we have a motion to?
Close the public
Close the
hearing.
public hearing,
Motion to close. A second.
all in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna go to the next one on the list, you guys are welcome to stick around, but we'll. We'll probably discuss that later on, so.
Whether the whole thing is approved or.
Yeah, you'll know in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay, we'll stick around. Thanks.
All right. The second item on the list today is the Moravec area variance. Just to read it, that is an area variance application by Brian and Sarah Moravec. Doing it properly. Okay. 2 Carolina Drive, Pittsburgh, New York, 14534, for a property located at 49 Old Stable Way, Mendon, New York, consisting of 6.89 acres. Requesting an 8-foot 5-inch of relief to construct a single family dwelling with an overall height of 43 feet 5 inches, whereas code requires 35-foot height and therefore requires an area variance. Zone I1 and tax account 21504-1-56. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So first off, thank you guys for this meeting here. We love that you took our community. Our kids love going to school here and we're just happy to be here. And when we decided to build, first we bought on 2 Carolina Drive. That was existing, and then we decided that that's it. We love this community so much and want to build our dream home. So that's where we're at today. And then the lot at 49 Old Stable Way came up for sale, and that was a no-brainer to buy it because I walked the yard and realized that we can definitely build our dream home here. So what we're asking for is that 8.5-foot height variance. And like working with Karini, the architects, and with Morrow, the builder, just trying to figure out, how we can fit everything on that property. It was a little bit of a challenge because originally going into this, I really didn't want a walkout basement. But the land with the height variances, just with the elevations, it was kind of like a no-brainer. You had to do it. So that in turn, the average height went through the roof because of the back of the house. So with this particular property, we're very fortunate and lucky that it's on 7 acres. And behind it is federal wetlands conservation area and the equestrian centers behind us. So, there's positives on that, so it's not going to visually affect the actual development. So that's a positive thing. The other thing was in our little development, every house is a custom, beautiful luxury home with ample acreage, beautiful, that's why we decided to build this there. And then after doing a little bit more research, finding out that, this, you can get this approved, it is such a thing. There's other addresses that, have the height variances and one including my own, which is at 2 Carolina Drive. That one, I think, had to get up to a 38-foot height variance. And I painted with my own man lift, and it goes 40 feet and didn't reach the top, so I don't know what the back is. So, and then there's just a couple more. I don't know if I need to say what the addresses are, but there's a couple more out there that, that have it. One of them is 470 Main Street in Fishers. They asked for up to a 50-foot height variance. The other one was the 553 West Bloomfield Road. They asked for a 40-foot 8-inch height variance. And then the one right in our own development, which is the 17 Old Stable Way, I think they have a 40.5 height variance. And you know, I get what the variance is for, and I know the reason why it's there, and you can't, you know, but if, I think this lot in our development, the house definitely fits the need. And then the other challenge was the actual width of the house is gonna be 134 feet wide. So how do you figure that out with making it look not like a shoebox or something, just a rectangle with a flat roof? So those are the challenges we ran into, and I believe that we came up with a beautiful design, and everything will complement the design and the builder, and just be a beautiful house for the HFL community, and mostly for us, but we, so do you guys have any questions?
I was trying to find, so that's the lot, right? Now, you were limited on your choice of where you could build this,
Yes.
obviously, because of the wetlands and having to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually I wanted it even further back, but when they originally engineered and designed this, it kind of is where it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, working with Corey's been great in the town, Brooke, everybody's been great, and, you know, getting it to make it work with the land is the key.
And thanks for doing the research.
Yeah. Try.
You're like 220 foot out the cul-de-sac.
I think was it 220 or 180 something? I know. 200. Is it 200? Because it fit within the original
Building footprint.
plot. Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
It
You
fits
approved.
within the original footprint. Yeah, I just think with the 10 foot from the street. You know, it dropped in the back that 10 feet, it was. You know, you had to do a walkout base.
Right.
Have to,
That's where you run trouble with your height.
yeah.
Because it's measured to average grade.
Average, yeah, and from the front of the house, it's gonna look like, it's gonna be a tall house, right, at the peak,
Yeah.
but it's gonna look normalized within the development.
So. Also in working with Corey, obviously, he's also the fire marshal. He's explaining egress at third story windows, you're gonna have to have a fire ladder, or like sort of stuff. I just wanted to put that out there that, you know, we do try to take care of it from our end too, to make sure that you're safe, you know, when building a structure this high. But you gotta help us with it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and like I told Corey, everything's open, you guys can come back anytime, it's. Right. You know, I wanna build it according to what we need to do, to make it sure that I get to see all, right? And make sure that, you know, it is good, you know, we have to fit it within what we need to do. You know, that was, you know, definitely one of the things that, you know, the fire sprinkler system, we were talking about that, just trying to figure out how we can make, if we need it, if we don't, right, but we don't ask, we don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
The only thing I was trying to discuss there is trying to understand. Obviously, the presentation of the cul-de-sac is going to be shorter than the back because of the average rate.
Yeah.
I don't recall seeing the measurement, the perceived measurement from the peak of that front to what the grade would be for the.
It should be on
And I think it's,
might be on the side, on the side of the blueprint, side elevation maybe.
It had a side
38,
elevation.
38, 39, one, okay.
and it's really that one peak.
So it's only really off 39.1,
Yes.
Yeah,
so it's only off 4.
6 inch.
Right. 40, 35.
Oh, 35. I was thinking 38.
And then, you know, with the other way. It wouldn't make the front of we have that 4 foot kind of unique architectural feature, it's gonna look beautiful, and just to make that, to marry that in with the design that had to go up, and we tried flipping the roof line, and you're just gonna see it all shingle, you know, and it just doesn't, it wouldn't work.
Is there anyone online comment?
Nope.
Any other public comment in the room?
Any other comments from? Folks on the board?
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is that it?
Yeah, we'll probably, we'll discuss and kind of figure out our next steps on that, but you're welcome to stay or.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll do well.
So from a general discussion standpoint for the board, do we want to discuss and take action on any of these two tonight?
Both of them.
So I guess we'll start with the Boulder area variance. Does anyone want to discuss that one, and we can work towards
Motion approved with
Right.
conditions.
Okay.
A second.
Okay.
Who seconded that?
All right, so, I guess what you wanted to. The motion was to approve or grant, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so I guess we can just walk through a draft of that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so. Steve motion, seconded by Tom. That the area variance requested by Keystone Custom Decks, Ash, for his property. For the property located at 5 Governor Circle, Mendon, New York, 14506, tax ID 21607-2-034, to build a porch off the back of the residential structure. That is within the 20-foot side setback. And the recommendation is granted at this point, based on the following. Whereas the above property owner appeared before the zoning board of appeals at the public hearing on the application on November 14th, 2024. And whereas the town of Mendon zoning code section 260-106 provided a side yard setback in the residential district shall be at least 20 feet. And whereas a portion of the proposed porch will be 18 feet, 9 inches, 19 feet. From the side yard property line, do we want to be more specific on that, correct? Okay. From the side yard property line, less than the required setback, and where this application was sent to the zoning board of appeals attorney, the town code enforcement officer for review. And whereas this application was sent to the Monroe County Planning Board for review pursuant to general municipal law 239-M, the application was returned as a local matter with comments. Whereas the zoning board of appeals held a public hearing and the public was given the opportunity to comment on the application. I would just make the note that there was no public comment, but there were the letters of support provided. Now, therefore be it resolved that this application constitutes a type 2 action under SECRA and no further environmental review is required. Be further resolved that the zoning board of appeals has weighed the effects of the requested variance against the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood community. And hereby the recommendation is grants the application based on the following findings, and we'll go through the 5 questions. So the request can or cannot be achieved by other feasible means because.
It could be, to echo Ted's point, you could shrink it, but.
Offsetting it to the side of the house to meet the code. Presents some off aesthetic. The property line actually is at an angle. So the front corner of or the back corner of the house itself actually is within code. It's the back portion of the patio that requires the variance.
You got those or?
Yeah.
Okay. The request is or is not substantial.
Nah, this is a 10%, right?
Is not, is for 10% reduction of setback. The request will or will not have an undesirable change in the neighborhood.
We'll go there.
And that's because. Asking for input on that one.
They are seeking to achieve a congruent aesthetic.
I would also say other homes in the area have similar.
It's also, for the most part, hidden from public view.
The request will or will not have an adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood or district. Okay.
No change to drainage.
And the difficulty is or is not self-created because the applicants.
Should say desire to
Desire,
construct
yeah.
the porch. It's the
Construct the
applicant's
porch.
desire to construct the porch
With a
into the setback.
Most of these are typically self-created.
And thank you for saying, yes, it
Yes.
is self-created, because they all are self-created. What do you want to do? Do you want to build something? You know,
Yes. Okay. And then, when we had the motion, there was a couple conditions, so I just wanted.
No conditions.
Oh, I think, okay, sorry.
No conditions.
Does anyone else have any conditions that they wanted to put on that? Oh, no. Okay. All right, so any other discussion on the resolution as we just read it? To work through? All right. So from a roll call vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That is approved. So we'll just work with.
Thank you.
Corey. Good luck, guys.
That was easy.
All right, and I'm gonna read this other one from. Here, so. All right, so. Does anyone want to make a motion on that one, and I think I just want to open, do we have any discussion before we do that? On this one?
Motion approved.
Second.
Who seconded it?
I'll second it. Any other discussion before we go through that one? No. No. All right, so. Steve moved and second by Dustin, okay. That the area variance requested by Brian Morbeck for his property located at 49 Old Stable Way, Mendon, New York. 14472, tax ID number 215 .04 1-56. Zone RA1 to construct a house for the height in excess of the 35-foot be is the, you say granted was the recommended? Okay, motion. Be granted based on the following. Whereas the above property owner appeared before the zoning board of appeals at the public hearing on the application on November 14th, 2024. And whereas this town of Mendon zoning code section 260-106 provides that no building in the RA1 zoning district shall be higher than 35 feet. And whereas the proposed house from the front has a maximum height of 39 feet 1 inch, and from the back has a maximum height of 48 feet 1 inch, for an average build height of 43 feet 6 inches. And whereas the application was sent to the zoning board of appeals attorney and the town code enforcement officer for review. Whereas this application was sent to the Monroe County Planning Board for review pursuant to general municipal law 239-M, the applications were returned as a local matter with comments. Whereas the zoning board of appeals held a public hearing, the public was given the opportunity to comment on the application. No comments were made. Now therefore be it resolved that this application constitutes a type 2 action under SECRA. No further environmental review is required. Be it further resolved that this zoning board of appeals has weighed the impacts of the requested variance against the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood and the community. And hereby, the motion was to grant the application based on the following findings. So we'll discuss those same 5 questions that we did for the last one. So the requested benefit Can or cannot be achieved by other feasible means. Recommendation on that one.
It could be, I mean, you could
It would
move
require
it to a different spot or,
It would require a full
Yeah.
redesign of the house.
right,
Change your roof pitch.
Flat roof.
yeah.
Or stone.
I like Tom's idea, you go to a 412, you
Yeah.
know?
It would stand out like a sore thumb. I might not be able to build it.
That's what you can build this.
It's my job.
Right, we good with that, David? Okay. The request is or is not substantial,
It is,
say it is, because it's
you're requesting 125% increase to it.
35.
Right. 8.5, it's to 25, 30%.
So because of I would say because of the 13 or the 8.5.
Like 35%.
You wanna just go with eight and an
Yeah.
average of 8.5
It's
feet?
it's higher. yes.
Higher?
Yes. The request will or will not have an undesirable change in the neighborhood,
Well, not.
Building.
and that's because other homes in the neighborhood are also.
That's
above
also
30.
set back from the front property line. So would be completely municipal.
The request will or will not have an adverse effect on the physical and or environmental conditions of the neighborhood or district.
Will not.
It's adhering to current wetland protocols. Other placement concerns.
And the difficulty is or is not self-created because the application's desire to construct a home above the maximum height permitted under code on.
It is self-created.
Thank you, Jack. Okay. All right, and so. That's same one. Yes, do we have any other further discussion or conditions that we wanted to put on this resolution?
Nope. No.
Roll call vote was taken, so all in favor for this?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved.
Okay, sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you, someone else.
Thank
Get
Definitely
to
look
work,
forward.
Mara.
What?
You can get to work now.
Yeah. Order trusses.
All right, I guess we don't have, so just to continue on with the next things on the agenda, we don't have a board meeting on the field board meeting on the 28th. But we do have one upcoming on the 12th of December, so I think we got it. David, you're not available. We can-
On the 12th, no, I might be able to have somebody present, but I won't be able to make it, but, if not, I mean, you'll have the resolution ahead of time, and you and I can work together to complete it after the fact.
Okay, everyone else good for that date though? So, okay. All right,
Be good.
anything else to bring before?
Motion approved, or motion to adjourn. A second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good, Chris.
Hello.